Well, I'm back after a week and a half and a little bit earlier than originally planned. Still had fun. It was interesting weather. Summer's barely even here. Power in British Columbia, we've had maybe 2 days of sun during the entire time. The rest it was rain or cloudy. Did get to see a lynx run across the road in front of us and stopped to watch it. Didn't want to hit it. Got to see a couple foxes, one that looks more like an African wild dog, so I'm not entirely sure what that was. Could be a fox or just a really weirdly colored dog. Uh, I've seen that while I'm away, I've gotten 10 subscribers or so, probably from roblesterfilms and Zombiepictureshow, who did Zombie did a response to one of my videos, and I got a shout from Rob Lester, so that's kind of fun. Subscribe to those two people if you haven't already. Um, but something I've been thinking about. I've been reading an interesting book that I'll be doing a video later on as a response to Jay Frontier on his thing about the fine tuning. And the thing that I'm really wondering about is, do people really actually think about what they're told by apologists? I mean, it just seems so often they don't actually check the facts. You know, you've got so many videos done by them where videos and arguments done by these guys where they'll make claims about stuff. And then when you actually check the claims, they fall apart and don't work. They're just not there. But this is what confuses me. Do people just blindly accept every argument ever made? I was watching a video recently by Cult of Dusty, link below, who did a video about Bible prophecies for dummies and talked about the prophecy of Tyre never being found. Yet there's still the city there currently. Yes, apologists will argue that the part of the city that was supposedly destroyed is still destroyed, but there's still a city there, and it's still findable, even the ruins of the old city, so that part has failed. Look at some arguments by William Lane Craig and other apologists about fine-tuning, saying that this is impossible, but these things were different. Well, these aren't physicists. And many physicists don't actually agree with these claims. They're people that just make up these things and just say that if they were any different, life wouldn't exist. And that's not true in many cases. You have creationists that sit there and make the most god-awful, horrible arguments that have nothing to do with actual science or what's actually believed. You know, the whole vestigial organs are not actual vestigial, or straw man about how animals evolved and stuff. Yet people blindly accept it. Do people just simply accept something that fits what they want to believe and not actually bother to check about things? Every time I hear a claim that I think is a really good argument, I try to double check it. I look up on multiple sites. I look up anything I can to verify or prove it wrong, because if I'm going to make a good argument for something, I want to do my best to prove it wrong or make sure it's right. I mean, we still make mistakes as people, or humans are human, but a lot of the arguments I hear and see creationist apologists use can be disproven with about a 5-second Google search. And if you can do it with a 5-second Google search with the first 2-3 hits, then you know there's a problem with the argument. Even if you think it's just an atheist apologist, or evolutionist apologist, whatever, making up things. I don't think they exist, but if you want to call it that way, well, you still have to see that the argument isn't exactly true. So, do people not bother to check on arguments that contradict their own beliefs, or check to see if their arguments are that agree with them and make their position true? Do we not bother to double check and to look for other information? I think this is something that kind of frustrates me a lot. Is people hear an argument and not look it up, and they just assume it's true. I've seen atheists do this too, but it seems to be very prevalent within the religious side, where they just use any old argument against evolution or atheism or whatever, simply because it seems to fit what they want. I don't know. Maybe somebody can explain this to me, because this is kind of frustrating. And I know a lot of atheists are kind of frustrated with this. I know quite a few Christians claim to be frustrated with atheists doing the same thing. And I'm kind of frustrated when you hear Thunderfoot not take a 5-second Google search. I actually try to find the context of a scripture, not. And yes, I think, sometimes he does get stuff right, but a lot of times he just says stuff that makes no sense at all. And, both sides need to research more, spend more time double checking facts, even if it agrees with what they believe, just to be sure it's right.